Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm Alan, your host. Sunday morning, December 29th, 2024. A big night at Turfway Park last night to close out the year, the 2024 year. And we were out there in grand fashion. Some of you I know saw the results. We just want to talk about that just for a little bit. I had my selections last night, had gigantic, huge explosions went off over at Turfway Park to close out the season. And I'm going to talk about it and how I did it. And you can see for yourself. I have, let's see. And how did I do it? I mean, some of you, you're pulling a rabbit out of your hat. You see, that's par for the course. Some of you might be wondering, Al, what do you? It's after 5 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing up at this hour? Well, that's how I go about doing it. As a racing analyst, I have to handicap a number of tracks, and I choose to get started very early in the morning so I can get the selections out there in a timely manner. And I cover multiple tracks each day. So I'm handicapping a number of cards to put the selections together. So I've been up a little while already. I've already handicapped one card. I'm working on the Sunday selection show. Got coffee going. So this is nothing new. That's part of my horse racing routine. But I want to talk a little bit about the selections last night that I put out there in advance, like I do all my other live streams with selections around the country, the tracks, United States. So I want to talk a little bit about Turfway. Turfway, notorious for its big hits, and last night was no selection. We had our finger on the pulse right out of the starting gate, so to speak. So I'm going to talk about some of these selections here and what went down, and then how I did it. All right. We're going to talk about Turfway. As this unfolds, I'll make this fairly quick. You get an idea of what took place last night. We started easy enough. From my selections in the race, I provided the winner in the first race. I had it started fairly innocent enough. We had a 1390 winner in the red wine lady, and she was, had a little bit of trouble at the start in her other start, but closed well anyway. And I figured would be a player in here. And I 1390 winner. And we've got the second place finisher, number 13. So they get the exacta done, 86.52. Okay, not bad. So we're off to a good start over at Turfway. Then we move on to the second race. And I'm going to recap these winners. Now, we followed up with the exacta, the winner, a 1082 winner, and the exacta, Dr. Kringle. For a second, we had the 11-2, so we had the exacta again. When that exacta paid $59.58, and the daily double for $1, $66.31. Okay, so we're rolling along. Race number 2. Race number 3. Pick the winner outright. This is where it starts getting a little interesting. Bloodline with Evan Roman, who has been running a tough meet, but this one, what I liked about this one was it was turning back. It was turning back to a sprint, but its route numbers were really good. So I figured this one would be able to hold up on the surface, running these numbers on turf. But still, turf and Tapeta, they're interchangeable. So we like this one on top, and there were some others that were close. Now, we didn't complete the exacta, but we did have the winner. And as you all know, the rolling exotics with my selections, which I talk about every time I go live, that's my bread and butter plays, the doubles, the pick threes especially, and sometimes the pick four and upwards. But the rolling exotics, it's always, you hear it again, it's always easier to pick a winner than to pick a second place horse. The second place horses, They affect every exotic within the race, the exacta, the try, etc. So we get that one done 42.16. Now we don't have the exacta to talk about. That exacta did pay 262.26, but we weren't on it with my selections. But we did have the winner outright, and there it was, 42.16. So we got a double there, and that double for $1 with the last race does return $120.21, but remember, we did have the winner in the first and second races. So $120.21 for $1. And the 50-cent pay, our 50-cent pick 3 here, 311.5, 711.5 for 50 cents returned $1,122.93. There it is. Okay, now if you want to see these selections, they were out there in advance, well in advance of the first race. I have a link to last night's selection show live stream that had the winners out there. Everything's time stamped. They're out there in advance, right? Winners in advance, calling the winners in advance. What a concept! I know there's a lot of people, a lot of comedians out there. Well, they think they're serious, but they come out there and they announce that they had all these winners after the race was over. Takes all kinds, right? So we get the $1,100 50-cent pick 3 and the double. What happens in race 4? Race 4, we come back fairly innocent enough. So we deliver another exacta, right? So we get the exacta, the 7-1. That was like 5-2, I believe, over a 7-1. So that constitutes another daily double, another pick 3, another exacta provided here on with my selections. Race 4 of 4, 4 for 4, 3 exactas. This exacta returned 43.50, innocent enough, but now the rolling exotics, my favorite plays, my specialty. How did they do? Now the daily double for $1. No, the daily double for $1 returns 177.40. 177.40. And the pick 3 for 50 cents. Okay, it wasn't over $1,000 again, but for 50 cents, 328.40. Al, Coach Allen. Here I am. This is what I do. This is my job, to put these selections together and provide it to you as what I do as a professional horse racing analyst. As a service, I put this out there to help, provide winners and also back my credentials, my racing portfolio as a professional, resume, what have you, proof in the pudding. So it's out there. So we got that. And now race 5. We were in on that. Now race 5, it gets interesting here because we do have the winner and we do have another exacta. We have the 54.84 winner, Maitre D, with again Evan Roman, who provided that winner in the third race with the 42.16 winner, my man Evan. And now Evan Roman, some people have been down on him because he was winning at about a 3% clip at this track. He was ice cold, and here he is to close out the year, and he comes back again for Doug O'Neill, of all people, a solid trainer. And we get it done there, the exacta 54.84, and look at the place horse, place 2304. We had that at 3 selections. We get it done, and the 2 of them come in. We didn't get the try, but we did get the exacta. So the exacta in the 5th at Turfway, which I gave out for my selections, returned $1,379.52. $1,379.52. Both of these horses were over 25 to 1. Okay. So there, you got a 13. We're not done. $1,379 exacta. What about the daily double? Here's where it gets juicy. The daily double my daily double produced. They could have had this daily double for $9. Okay, and here's what that produced. Covering the selections. Where's the double price? Okay, 122.15. Okay, now what about the pick three? That pick three, that 50-cent pick three, read the 5/7/13, $1,034.40. Gave it to you right there. All right, it's right out there. $1,034.40. But it gets better. We also delivered the pick four without selections. The early pick four. And this is not spreading across the world with these selections. Oop. You can see the selections. Okay, the pick four, 50-cent pick four, $15,534.84. 15,000, folks. $534.84. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. What did the pick five return? As you know, we started with all of the races from the first race, and here we are, race 5, and we have the winner through the first 5, and we just nosed it in the 5th race to complete the pick 5 with Swiss Slang for trainer Bill Mott, 1202. Okay, it's not a $50 horse, but still 5-to-1 shot gets it done, and considering the ones that came in beforehand, what does that pay? That daily double returns the 1310 daily double for $1 returns $418.79. $418.79. You got it right here. Okay. And the pick pick three now, that pick three for 50 cents returned 482.10. So we got getting bombs here on the connecting on a couple of $1,000 pick threes. This one 480. The others, because of the long shots. Then it gets better. What did the pick four play? Oh, I was looking at race 6. Okay, I was moved up in advance. Okay, so the pick, listen to this. So that pick three, 1,034.40. I got jumped ahead of myself. The pick four, what did the pick four pay for 50 cents? The pick four that I gave out here with the picks paid 15,000. Now, this is when you can play for 50 cents. And again, for my selections, once in a while, usually I just go 3 deep. So you're not talking about a major investment here. And once in a while, if a race is really contentious, I'll go 4 deep, but that's about it. This pick four returned $108,000, $108,386. The pick four. All right. What about the pick 5 from these picks here today, which we just did? We're talking about race 5. 5 correct for 50 cents. Coach Allen presents. Here it is. We did it. $136,560.03. So $136,000 pick 5 right out there. Presented with my selections in advance, and this is what I do. This is not to, sound off like it's. This is part of what I do. This is my responsibility. This is my job. This is my job. When I'm up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, handicapping the races, is to provide you with the best selections that I can here. We had some big hits at other tracks yesterday too, but this is just about Turfway. So if you see these for yourself, these are documented selections. I got a link to the yesterday's stream with these selections early. That came out early in advance. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen, the selections are right there. So if you want to see these for yourself, they're right there. And you're wondering how I did it. And I just want to talk about, okay, the pick 5, the explosions, $135,000 pick 5 win, and also the pick 4 over 15 or whatever it was, $15,000, all the pick 3s. And we did connect in the 6th race. We kept it going with the 10 horse to keep the daily doubles going. The daily double there in race 6. So here we are, 6 races into a 9 card, and we deliver the double there, which was for a. You want to cover all my plays horses in that double, the 3x3. Okay, that's $9, and you get back $418.79, and you get another pick 3. 50-cent pick 3 for 50-cent pick 3 paid $482.10. So there it was. And now, how'd we do in the other races? Oh, yeah, you got the first 6. What big deal. What about the rest of the races? Okay, so we didn't get the winner in the 7th. The streak was snapped. Did have the winner in the 9th race, which was in the 8th race. In the 8th race, it was 796 winner, Brad Cox winner, nothing there in the 8th race. In the 9th race, get this, the one I picked on top was a long one, open long, went off at 30, ended up going off at 31-1. Now, we had 2 heavy favorites, 2 speed demons in the 9th race, the 1 and the 9, the 10 and the 9, the 9 and the 10. And they had good, nice speed figure, nice numbers. And I figured I had them for 2nd and 3rd, 1-10-9, right? So, of course, the 9 and the 10 are leading the way by a mile around the track. My 1's in the back. The rest of the field is pretty much in the back. So the 1 starts to move around a little bit. The 9 and the 10 knocked each other out, heading for home. They would start to run out of gas. My 1 was coming, but some others were coming. Would you believe it that my 31-1 shot, 9 and 10 drop out, and my 1 is there leading with maybe 10, sticks his nose out front, almost to a head lead, takes the lead just before the finish line, and another one, I think it was the 8 horse, comes up. I can look at it right here. The 8 horse comes up and hits at 16-1, right? So just beats out my winner. Otherwise, we would have had a 30-something, $60-something winner in the 9th race. Comes in 2nd-1. Okay, didn't have the exact. I didn't have the 8, but with these selections. But we did get the 1 in there to 2nd, and that played to place and show. We're all over it. Lost by just a little bit to the 8. 23-20 to place and 14-16 to show. So we almost capped it off with a double. I was looking at a late double with the 9 and the 8th, and then the 1 in the 9th. So we're almost there again with another big payout. Not as big as the others because the 9 last race and the 8th did return 796. So we had the big race. And just to recap these a little bit, what took place. Now, this doesn't include the daily double and pick 3 in the 6th race. I'll just talk about the first 5 because that's where the crescendo was, the 50-cent pick 5. What took place during the first 5 races of my selections right out of the starting gate at Turfway Park? During the course of that 5-race sequence, we had 3 exactas of 86.52, 43.50, and the 3rd exacta that completed $1,379.52. Daily doubles, we had 4 doubles in that sequence. And again, 5 if you consider the 6th race. But during the first 5 daily doubles paid 66.31, 120.21, 177.40, and 122.15. Now remember that sixth daily double, the fifth daily double, if you include the sixth race, that was over $400. And the 50-cent pick three, so that's another one, really. 5 daily doubles out of the first 6 races, all of them. And the pick threes here, 1,122.93. So pick three for 50 cents, 1,122.93, 328.40, and another 50-cent pick three over 1,000, 1,034.40. And then every pick three through race 5 and the 50-cent pick 4 of $15,534. And we saved the best for last. The selections, pick 5, $136,560.03. 3 cents. So that is how we did it here last night. And now you ask Al, how did you do it? How did I do it? Well, we got the selections down below. I mean, the link to the selections below. And how did I do it? The way I do it all the time with my selections. I'm up here early. Again, I started here. I'm already through a card. I'm handicapping, started earlier. And I also have to record a show. Horse racing today. In between that for later this morning. But I'm on the handicapping now. How did I do it? I look over every single card, either, the data. I look for the trends. All my handicapping strategies come into play. I address every single card that I do, whether I'm playing the races personally or not. It's my job. What I do as a horse racing professional is to try and bring you the best data possible to my word, my reputation's on the line. I do it for my brand, to keep the brand strong and basically deliver the goods that I'm here to provide. So that's what I'm doing. I'm out here early doing the work. Get a good night's sleep. It's important that I get a good night's sleep every night if I'm going to be handicapping all these cards. Anywhere between, if it's a slow day like some of these holiday days, maybe it's only a few tracks, but other times it's between 5 and 6 tracks I provide selections for each day. So I'm out here doing this. I'm out here, I'm nose to the grind, looking over the PPs to deliver. Basically, it's my responsibility to do this on this channel. I'm not just out here, throwing some picks at the wall and hoping a few of them stick, right? I'm not horsing around. This is the real deal when we're out here with these selections. So yeah, I think most of you that are familiar with the show, All Horse Racing All the Time, know that between my all the pre-recorded shows I do out there on handicapping, horse racing news, and also the selections live streams. I'm out here, I'm out there, I'm up early, coffee going, bright-eyed and bushy-tail, letting it rip. So yesterday was another day at the office, and so to speak. So yesterday, guess what? It's great. It's great that we had those big hits here at Turfway, and also at some of the other tracks. Really, there's a big stretch there over at races yesterday at Gulfstream too, which we're really lighting it up over there. And Turfway, and the other one, Oakland, the other day, we closed out with winners in the last 6, 4 of them cold, and the other 2 were second choices for the Rolling Exotics to nail a pick 5, pick 4, and that's Turfway and Aqueduct. So we cover all the tracks. And yesterday, you know what? Yesterday is old news now, but we figured we'd talk about it just to let you know how we're doing. And some of you, I heard back from some of you, had some of the winners there yesterday. I'm very happy about that. I'm thrilled about that. Did I personally play pick 5? No, I didn't personally play the pick 5 and make $135,000, but I feel like I did because I got the selections out there, and that's That's the gist of it. So we're talking about it here, just so you know what's going on out there. In case you didn't tune in, you didn't check the selections. But today's a brand new day. So we're right back to square one. It's every day. It's like when you go to work in the morning every day. What happened yesterday or the day before? Now you got to go out there and you got to go out there and do it again. You can't just sit back. So that's why we're out here early, getting started on Sunday's cards. So we're going to have selections out there today. So be on the lookout for those. So that's how I do it. It's heavy duty the handicapping. Nothing different. There was no magic formula yesterday. It's the recipe. I'm always looking to improve on my game. And one thing I will tell you is covering all these tracks for my analysis job. It's getting more and more familiar with extremely intimately familiar with all the tracks across the United States, at least the tracks that I cover, the bigger tracks or the more exciting tracks, the ones that present some good opportunities, the ones I do regularly. I'm familiar with these circuits now. Whereas when I used to do the shows a while back, I used to do a show and just cover one single track a day, blinkers on, and sometimes I'd be out there live for the entire show. I was actually limiting my scope of coverage of what I could provide here on this channel as far as giving selections, also doing pre-recorded shows, handicapping shows, news shows. Now it's basically covering it all as what we bring here on All Horse Racing all the time is expanding and not only giving you selections, also strong selections for multiple tracks and not just one. My concentration level is much higher. As I know one time it's fun when you go out there. I used to go out there and do it with the chat open with a bunch of people weighing in, answering questions, addressing questions, and posting people's winners as the show went along, which was cool, which was fun. It was a fun experience as when the channel first got underway. But in a way, it really took a toll on what I could do as a handicapper and as a player when addressing everybody. And so sometimes we'd have hundreds of people in here watching these shows, some of these live shows when I'm out there answering questions, handicapping the races, trying to look at the body language. Whoever you are, you're not going to be able to bring your best handicapping to the table juggling 8 balls in the air at once and only for one track. So I wanted to give you the best I can to really show you that we can get good winners out here and also talk about it and address how to do it at the same time, covering it this way with the live streams and covering multiple tracks. And from a personal standpoint, it's improved my game. My knowledge of the tracks, the trainers, the trends, track trends, and with my friends that are in the business, the professionals within the business industry, talking with them, expanding on my knowledge base that I can bring you very solid selections and better information on my other shows pre-recorded. So that's how I do it. I put the work in and I enjoy it. So I'm fortunate to love what I do for a living. Part of what I do for a living income now. This has become a job, so to speak, for me right now in the horse racing industries. I'm involved now professionally with it. So it's important that I bring you winners here on the show, on the selections, because that's out there. This is my body of work. This is my body of work, and it's out there at a timestamp. Everything's timestamped. So that's how I do it here. I put in the work, and I'm on it now. What time is it now? Got to be pushing 6 o'clock. So we got to get back at it, get back to the handicapping, and heat up this coffee. And well, I'm going to have some selections out there today. The track's coming down. We still have some work to do. So we'll talk with you soon. Keep an eye out for today's selections. And if you had some of those selections, I know some of you did and had some nice hits there. I heard back from some of you yesterday. I'm glad. I'm pleased. I'm thrilled that some of you used it, saw it. And if you didn't see it, you can look at it today. Got a link to those selections down below that show, so you can see how my selections panned out over at Turfway Park. So have a great Sunday, everybody. If you're playing today, best of luck and bring it home. Watch for my selections. And remember, may the horse always be with you. Happy Sunday, everybody. Enjoy.